What's up, little homies? This is You Are Talking to Face, also known as Bad Horse, coming at you with another KTS, this time detailing the map Complex. Now, Complex isn't topping the list for anyone's favorite map types, but it was one of our most requested map videos, so here we go. But before we start, I wanted to make sure that I pointed out, during one of the games we were playing, I saw Tudor using this nifty little trick where he uses his radar jammer from his invis to be able to disrupt the enemy's ability to detect whether or not he's above or below them. And that really comes in useful, especially when you're in enemy territory. Okay then, moving right along. To start out, you'll probably have already noticed that Complex plays host to a multitude of different game types, and that includes SWAT, CTF, Oddball, regular Slayer, and that means most of the time you're going to be on this map, it's going to be with 8 or 10 players, which really isn't a lot considering the size of this map. Another thing you'll notice right off the bat is that Complex is incredibly asymmetrical, and unfortunately we're seeing more and more of this type of asymmetry in these Halo 4 maps. I believe this new trend is part of 343's new goal of making everything congruent in the storyline as far as how do the maps fit into the Halo universe and trying to provide some sort of backstory to the multiplayer map. However, this move towards more realistic and situational maps didn't jive very well with the Halo community because we're used to more arena-style maps, which tend to be symmetrical and inherently balanced. Another reason why Complex has failed to capture a fanbase is because of its many extraneous rooms. It has at least 3 that barely ever get used, and this one in particular, also known as the Garage, is particularly useless unless you're going in there to commit suicide. These are spots that were put into the game intentionally by 343 for people who get the munchies while gaming, so they can go there and be out of the way of the rest of the gamers while they eat. Well, moving right along. Okay, we're starting out on the break here. I want you to know that right here is where red and blue will spawn. This is also where the flags will be located. And just as important as where you spawn is where the power weapons are. And here's where the sword is, out in mid, and then on each side there will be a sniper for each team. One for blue side and one for red side. Now what I did here is I hopped into Forge and I ran the route real quickly to see which way was the fastest way to get to those snipers. But it's really irrelevant because the snipers spawn so close to the origin spawns. Also spawning neutrally on the break, just like the sword, is the scatter shot, and that's over through that drive-through tunnel. It's also important to note that the rockets will be spawning around in different random places on this map. As you can see, they spawn here, they spawn there, they spawn just about anywhere, which makes them impossible to set up for. But if you keep an eye out and you're familiar with some of the common places that they spawn, you can be the first one to get there. So moving on. There's no way we can talk about Complex and not talk about Big Roof. Big Roof is basically the key to just about any game type played on Complex. I mean, if you still think that the bolt shot is overpowered, you probably haven't played Blue Spawn on Complex. Actually, I'm just kidding, the bolt shot is terrible. But seriously, if you're on blue side and you're not dominating this roof, you're doing something wrong. You have the advantage to get up there off the break, and also you have the recurring spawns behind that are much closer than red spawns to it. And the sightlines and cover from up here are too good to ignore. Okay, so when you pop up here on the first time off a break, where do you want to look? I always look the first place that I'm most vulnerable, and that is this little piece of cover right here. If red team is serious about countering Big Roof, this is where they're going to send someone. The second place I'm going to be checking is this spot right here, which we have taken to calling Top Broken because of that building's notorious past. It's extremely likely that this is where you'll find Red's sniper, and the reason for that is that this is the spot that they'll see immediately after picking up the sniper rifle. Red knows that they don't have a chance to challenge Blue Roof out in the open, at least not off break, so don't expect to see their sniper rushing Big Roof. They'll most likely try to pick you off from afar. Another spot I always see Red using to try and counter Big Roof is right there, so try and keep all these sightlines in mind. While you do have a sightline on just about every area in the map, they also have sightlines on you. However, you can use the angles of the roof to your advantage, and you can limit those sightlines simply by staying around this general area. It's also important to remember you can drop down if need be, and here you can see Stone doing just that. Another reason you might have to drop down off a big roof if you were using the sniper is to cover the flag, because if they get it into this position, it's basically a safe zone. So basically if you can't stop a runner before here, you need to get off the roof and get a better angle so you can get that final shot in, because you will not get it from roof. Alright, so that's all good if you're on blue side, but what if you're on red side? What are you going to do on break? You could start out by going here, but there is not that good of an angle on big roof from this spot. A great option on this map is Little Roof. because you will have enough jetpack to go up straight from the base of the building to the top, and you will have enough cover and elevation there to take out someone on big roof. The only drawback to this spot is that blue team realizes that this is pretty much your only recourse, and so this is the first place they're going to be looking for you. In cases like that, what I've seen have remarkable results is going up this little back hill here. Most people don't know that you can get up here and you have a perfect angle on big roof. And here's where that elevation difference between red and blue really sticks out like a sore thumb. On red, you're going to have to work and work just to find an angle on big roof. Whereas on blue side, as you can see, from just about any spot on blue side of the map, you have good lines of sight to take out someone on big roof. In the end, what you can see is that big roof is a lot like other things in life. High reward comes with a high level of risk, because everyone knows just how profitable it can be to be on top of the big roof. Getting you off of there is going to be the first thing in their mind as soon as they respawn every single time. All I can say, whether you're on big roof or you're countering big roof, is be unpredictable. Try and take the path less traveled. And be sure when you're attacking that the elevation and cover is to your benefit. When you put yourself in situations where you control those elements, you'll win every time. So therefore, contrary to popular belief, taking the sniper up to big roof directly and right in the center of big roof is not necessarily the best option. Sometimes the allure of big roof can become so overpowering that that's all that you focus on. Remember, you don't necessarily have to be on big roof to control big roof. These other spots offer a wide array of different and sometimes better angles to snipe from. Of course, like everything else on this map, it works much better if you're blue spawn. Alright, so I know what some of you guys are wondering right now. Well, you've covered a lot of sniper and long range stuff. What if I like short range weapons? Well, not to be alarmed, there are some spots to use short range weapons. But, in general, if you are a short range weapon person, well, let's just say you're going to have a tough time on this map. Another disappointing factor about this map is the lack of substantial vehicles on it. The sightlines and straightaways on this map seem to lend themselves perfectly to a Warthog. But still, this Warthog is absent from gameplay. A Mongoose and a Ghost are available for both teams at their spawn, but as we all already know, the Ghost is far too easy to take down with the new plasma pistols, and the Mongoose is really only good for getting yourself killed on. Still, some will find enjoyment in shooting down their enemies with the turrets on a Ghost, or using their splattering capabilities. I, however, prefer to be on the opposite side of the plasma pistol, because Halo 4 has made it so easy to take down these lighter vehicles. Well guys, that's pretty much it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. As always, please comment, rate, and subscribe, and go check out our other stuff. And stay tuned for later this week. We're going to finish this topic with a short CTF video on Complex. I hope to see you then. Until next time, peace out, little homies.
Too complex, much too complex, much too complex.